between 2001-2002. She is a member of the Rotary Club of Paso Robles and lives in Templeton, California. To speak about the Foundation's endowment and major gifts, please welcome PDG Brenda Cressey. Brenda?
Well, good evening, everyone. I don't even know what else I can say that hasn't been said tonight, but in regards to George and that Future Vision pilot thing and how all of that turned out and not being able to work with another district who was in the pilot, I had plenty of those in my district. And they made lemonade out of those lemons. So I'm happy to hear that you were able to do that too. So good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be back here in this district. Dan, your comments this evening were wonderful as well. To show everything that you all are doing in this district, it's amazing, it's inspiring. I don't know what to say to you because this district is one of those that has been in my heart for a long, long time. On behalf of John Jerm and Judy, the trustees and the directors, we want to thank you for your generosity. We saw a lot of that this evening with your gifts and having fun. So we really and truly appreciate how you support the Rotary Foundation. You know, friends, we live in interesting times right now. You need only hear about all the incredible moving stories of how Rotary and our foundation changes the lives of people around the world and of those Rotarians who support the foundation, either financially or through projects. Think about these Rotary projects created by members of your own clubs, but funded by you, the Rotarians, along with the help of our great foundation. Please know that lives are changed for the better because of you, the Rotarians. It's each one of you who are truly making dreams real. These life-changing projects and the stories we read and hear about, or when we're fortunate enough to experience firsthand, is a true testament of the wonders and miracles of Rotary, and they truly reaffirm that any dream will do. Rotarians dream to find solutions, to fight disease, to grow economies, to promote peace, to provide clean water, save mothers and children, and support education. I can tell you, as I travel around this big world of Rotary, I've met people who I consider to be true humanitarians. And it always brings me to think about this one quote, this anonymous quote, and that is, to the world you might be one person, but to one person you might be the world. You see, it's your personal commitment and passion for whatever it is that happens to make Rotary relevant to you. Those dreams of doing good in the world that will continue to keep you active, involved, and connected to your own Rotary Club. It's when we become inspired and motivated through our own volunteer service efforts and how we continually support our foundation that we realize that Rotary is an enormous catalyst, one that allows us to serve at any time, at any level, both locally or internationally. You know, in today's age of technology and instant communication, we find ourselves watching a world where we hear about world suffering, human suffering, continuing to rise on a daily basis sometimes. And we're all so moved when witnessing that crisis, moved even more so when we watch hundreds of selfless volunteers taking immediate action. For me, in that single moment of time, whether I'm in a position to personally offer a lending hand or to promote financial support, I'm always comforted with the assurance that it's Rotarians, yes, Rotarians, will no doubt find a way to respond to that crisis quickly, efficiently, and effectively. Over the years and here tonight, I'm privileged to meet Rotarians who share their moving experiences with me of how they were able to take action and make a difference. Perhaps you know a Rotarian, someone sitting right next to you this evening. To me, these shared experiences also reaffirm the fact that each one of you represents Rotary's heart and its spirit. And I sincerely believe that Rotarians and our Rotary Foundation are the lifeblood of this great organization. I joined Rotary because of polio. I had a friend when I was a young girl, and I never saw her again after she contracted polio. It was the very reason I joined Rotary. It continues to be the reason I stay in Rotary. I appreciated Sherry's comments this evening on polio in the background. We are almost there, and I couldn't be thrilled any more than that. We are indeed that close. I have so many stories about different people telling me about their experiences on National Immunization Days. How many here have actually participated in a National Immunization Day? Just hands? Fantastic. Thank you so much. As I said earlier this evening, these are really exciting times in Rotary. And this is a good day too in Rotary because we've all come together to celebrate the centennial. Please consider being in a place where you can see how Rotary and its foundation truly brings grace and mercy to those we serve through our humanitarian efforts. It happens. It happens when you personally commit and open your heart to the world through your personal involvement and support. The motto of our Rotary Foundation, of course, is doing good in the world. And our mission in Rotary is to enable Rotarians to advance world health, world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. Rotarians, it's only through your personal involvement and financial support that we can proudly say one day, mission accomplished. The magic of Rotary is simply that the Rotary Foundation belongs to Rotarians and is dedicated to furthering Rotary's programs throughout the world. It's each one of you, the Rotarians, who determines which programs to support and at what level of funding you're capable of. It's up to each one of you to help shape the world's future and to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Past President Kalyan Banerjee, he's our current chair of the Rotary Foundation. He shared a quote by Mahatma Gandhi, and it was, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." Past President Kalyan, the year that he served as president, shared these words, "Whatever changes we are seeking in our world, those changes begin with and within each of us. If we are seeking a world of greater kindness, then we must begin by seeking kindness within ourselves and making kindness to others our own personal priority. If we are seeking a world of greater peace," he says, "then we must begin by building peace within ourselves, by living peacefully with others in our own homes, in our own workplaces, and in our own neighborhoods. There is no way to bring peace or love or kindness to others without first having those things ourselves to give." And this is why he asked in his year as president to embrace humanity. First identify the change you want to see, he said, in your own community, then begin to be that change yourself. Rotarians, this is the fact that change is at the heart of Rotary, and how we thought everything was fine the way it was. Why would we have become a Rotarian in the first place? I truly believe that as a Rotarian, we must always consider positive change. We must aspire to leave everything we touch better than what it was when we found it, not only for that moment, but for the long term. And we, Rotarians, are at the heart of our communities. It's our job to know what's happening. It's our job to know what's needed. And it is our responsibility as well to take that knowledge and to act upon it. We need to keep our eyes and ears open, understand what's happening around us, and through our clubs, build the change our communities and the world need. Before I close this evening, I want to share a quick personal story about a time that my husband and I went to Panama with Rotary District 5280, which is in Los Angeles. And they have this partnership with Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Panama. And every year they take about 100 Rotarians down on a mission trip. And we were really excited because we had new Rotarians, we had Family of Rotary, we had Rotarians, and we had a whole list of things that we could do that week in regards to projects that they were working on or unveiling or cutting the ribbon. And so some of the things that I participated in were cataract. I actually saw cataract surgery. But the one story I'd like to share with you is about the big red wheelchair. So we went into this community center with all these boxes of wheelchairs that we had to assemble. And as we're assembling them, we had big boxes and small boxes, and we opened one of the small boxes and it had a child's wheelchair in it. And it really took our breath away because we knew that we were going to be presenting little children with leukemia with a wheelchair that day, as well as people who were living in poverty and people at a local nursing home. Shortly after we arrived and had everything ready, we had an announcement that there was a terrible fire in a poverty-stricken area in town. The mayor wouldn't be there because he was dealing with the loss. Apparently many people lost their lives and everything that they had, which was so little. And so the next thing we knew, we had, the mayor wouldn't be there, but we had the next group of children come in with leukemia and they were receiving their chairs. So that was kind of uplifting to see their smiles. And then we had this little old lady. She's walking in and she had, I don't know how old she was, but I would say 70s or 80s because she had a young grandchild with her. And she was so thin and frail, and she had this hat on her head that had so many artificial flowers. I wondered how she could actually hold it on her head. But she was so happy to be there to receive this wheelchair. And of course we all thought it was her. Well, it wasn't. She explained that it was for her daughter, who was 59 and diabetic. And she had lost the use of her legs. And this little tiny frail woman and this little tiny grandchild were trying, great-grandchild actually, were trying to take care of this woman. So with this wheelchair, she would be able to help herself and help her family because they couldn't move her anymore. So that was fine. And then the next thing is the one that really got me. Does this come off? Yeah. So I'm standing there among all of these Rotarians, and all of a sudden this young boy walks into the room with his grandfather on his back. And as he walked through the tables to go to the front of the room, we noticed that the grandfather had no legs. The grandson puts him gently on a chair, and we were all just breathless. And he gently put him on the chair, and then all of a sudden, they were able to move him to the red wheelchair. And he sat in the wheelchair, and then he looked up, and he looked at all of us, and he had tears streaming down his face. Everyone in the room had tears streaming down their face until the man got into the middle of the room and he started swinging that wheelchair around in circles. And he was so happy and he was praising the Lord. And he was just so thrilled that he would now have this wonderful gift of mobility to take care of himself. At that moment, I saw his grandson standing up against the wall in the back of the room, and he too had tears running down his eyes. And it was at that moment I realized, again, so many times in Rotary, how when we change one person's life, we change all the lives around that person and more, including our own. It was a wonderful moment. It was a moment that my husband and I will never forget. The cost of one wheelchair back then, $75. It's amazing what we can do with our money in Rotary, how we can match these grants, how we find people like George Lewis, who has a passion for something, Brescia and Shab, and Dennis, is it Dennis with the peanut butter thing? I mean, you all are amazing to do this. It takes one person. Remember, to the world you might be one person, but to one person, you are the world. Thank you.